Howdy y'all, this is Dwight and welcome back to my channel. Well, we're back again on this trapper that I'm doing a slight redesign on, basically here in the butt end part of the handle. I got it fit up today, got it functioning. Action's pretty good. Things are fitting nicely. But unfortunately, I am not going to be moving forward on this build. Like a genius, I decided to use a pivot bushing on this. And just to show real quick what that is, like on this blade here, I've drilled the pivot hole out oversized, and I have inserted a bushing in there. This bushing is 1/1000th thicker than the blade tang, so of course your pivot pin goes through the bushing, and whenever you're ready to peen the knife together, you can peen that pivot pin in good and firm without worrying about the handles pinching down on the blade and putting it in a bind, which I find very handy when I got bolsters on my handle material, because that means I can peen the pivot pin very well and not worry about the pivot pin showing in the bolster material. So it is very handy when it comes to that. Now, I've only used those a few times now, 3 or 4 times, I forget exactly now. So I am not that experienced with them as of yet. Though the times I have used it, I had good success. But unfortunately, on this particular knife, even though it functions correctly, it feels like absolute trash. And I'm not talking about the action. I'm talking about how it feels. In my opinion, that's a big difference. It does not feel good at all as it rotates. And I am scratching my head a bit at the moment, wondering what went wrong, because the hole that's in the tang of my blade, I made sure it was nice and clean, and the pivot bushing I put in, I made sure it didn't have no burrs, no scratches, and it was nice and clean as well. Of course, I got oil in here. But I absolutely do not like how it feels. I'm not happy with it, so it is not going to leave my shop. So therefore, because I tried to use that, and I probably really shouldn't on this build, it has stopped this build. The good news is I got my handle shaped nicely, and I can basically use this as a pattern going forward instead of having to go by my paper drawing here, which is a bit flimsy. So quite honestly, this is a bit of a downer, being I'm showing the progress on video on this. I wanted to make sure to show you my failure as well, because I most certainly am not perfect by no means. So that's where this sets at. It's going to get took apart and basically used as a pattern, and I'll be starting this build over. I doubt I'll be videoing redoing up to this point again. Whenever I get to the point where it's all fit up and all like that, I'll probably come back and show putting handles on it and this, that, and the other. But I can do that way quicker without videoing it. So unfortunately, this is where this series is going to end. For everybody that has followed along and supported me, I do appreciate it, and I hope y'all's going to have a good weekend. Till my next video, y'all take care.